Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Jared, and this is going to be a lesson on basically playing like a functional rhythm guitar. And it's going to be 5 things I wish I would have known a lot sooner. Maybe when I first started playing. I spent a lot of time practicing things that, eventually got me good, but they didn't get me functional where I could play in a real setting for a while. And I kind of looking back, if somebody had told me, it would have saved me a lot of time. So that being said, I think definitely spend time in any kind of theory and learning, and the people you should be doing that with are Marty Schwartz and Aaron Tomberlin, and I'll put their information down at the bottom. Those are the people I learned all my scales and chords and intervals and stuff from. But as far as like some drills and some things to be doing and spending most of your time to get to where you can actually play some rhythm guitar and have it sound pretty good, these are some of those. So one thing I would say first off is just strum. So if you're gonna play rhythm guitar, you pretty much got to get to the point where your right hand just moves. So what you do, you can either just strum to nothing, or you can put your favorite songs on. So kind of get the timing of your favorite songs and don't play any chords and just... Now I know my hand's going kind of fast on this, but hopefully you can still just kind of hear the chucks of it. So because once you can strum well, you can play almost any chord and it sounds good. So you can take easy, simple chords and just... But getting my arm to be able to strum like that took a lot of time, and if I would have just spent the 45 minutes, maybe an hour a day, I mean, it all depends on how much time you have, but if you have the time, a half hour a day, just get the muscles in your arms all just firing so it just happens. Sometimes I don't even know what my hand's doing anymore. Okay, so the next thing that will help a lot just in your sound is, I'm a big Dave Matthews fan, so if you're not, this may not be your thing, but it's alternate bass picking. So I'm going to pick the top string, and then basically what would be the fifth of that note is usually 2 strings down. Sometimes it's a string below, and you can alternate. So I'm going to pick one, play, and then pick another. I'm just playing one chord and just alternate picking the bass, and it's giving it that feel. So you can, I do it on the harmonics, and you can just pick different strings. You can actually pick all of them, really. Work with different strum patterns. Okay, so another thing that you can be doing is take all your favorite songs, look them up on Ultimate Guitar, and look at the chord progressions that happen the most often, and take those chords and work on them for like a half hour to 45 minutes a day. So take, like, if it's a G to a D, work on G to D, G to D, and make that like one drill. So like it would be like a basketball drill where you're making a layup. And then maybe it's A minor to D, so A minor. And of course, all these chords you can find on other sites, guitarjams.com, Aaron Tomberlin Music Lessons, I think it is. A minor to C, so A minor to C. I mean, there's all these chord changes that happen pretty much all the time, and if you get them to where they're habit with your left hand, then your right hand can just be strumming, not even really think about that, and you can have these storage of chords you know how to get to, and then you'll eventually learn a lot of them. But if you have, your quick go-to reference guide, then that's good for most songs. Okay, so another thing is learn 3 keys. I think you could learn 4, but start with the key of G, the key of C, and the key of E. Learn those 3 keys, and that's Aaron Tomberlin. I've seen it on his site. He's got a really good lesson on that. And there's ways you can basically just pin your hand in one spot and play all the chords. So that's G, and then E is really nice because it's actually played mostly down here. So it's like... So it's played down there with open strings, and it sounds really nice. So when you learn those 3, you can take a capo, and you can move to a different key. So this is kind of a tough concept, but basically if I'm in G, I'm going G sharp then A. So now I'm playing the chords of G, but I'm actually playing, my fingers are playing the chords of G, but the actual chords that are being played are the key of A. And I'll put a little thing that shows how to transpose. It's basically just laying the chords of one key over the chords of the next and figure out where the 1 and the 2 and the 3 align up. But once I know how to play in G, I can move it up and I'm in A, and I can go to B. And then if I'm in C and I'm playing those chords, which is, like I said, these chords on guitarjams.com or Aaron Tomlin's site, C goes to D, then goes to E. And then E is good for F. So I can play this right here. So I'm actually playing, my fingers are playing the chords of E, but I'm actually playing the chords of F. And then with those three and the capo and the ability to transpose, you can get to any other key. Okay, so the last thing, I'm a big Jack Johnson fan, so for me this is important. And if you're going to, for the style I like to play, is to learn how to chuck. So this takes a little timing, but you want to get to the point either where if you're playing a bar chord, you just let up on the strings, and you just play. If you've been strumming, doing your practice, you should be able to just strum. You'll pick it up eventually. And then any rhythm you can hear in your head, you can just mute the strings out and get it. The second way to basically chuck is if you have open chords, you can bring your hand. Let's see, let me get to you where you can see me better. Okay, so you can bring your hand and hit the strings and then come through with the pick. And you're kind of both hitting your palm onto the strings and making them hit the wood, and you're also taking your pick and raking it across. So those two together makes that chuck sound. So you can Okay, so those were like my 5 tips for this one. I've got more, and if I get some hits on this, maybe I'll put them up. Once again, strum as much as you can in a day, alternate bass pick. Favorite chord progression, C to D to G. Learn the 3 keys, G, C, and E, and then learn to take your capo and move them around. There's a lesson on Aaron Tomlin on moving a capo. And then the chuck. Just work on putting that chuck in there, because that makes any song a little bit better, I think, is to get that kind of like rhythmic. All right, if you have any questions, send me a message, and thanks. Bye.